on the India-U.S. trade deal and how it's really going to be impacting the export-oriented sectors at large. We are now joined by Chairman Emeritus of Trident, that's Mr. Rajendra Gupta, and he's with us to share with us how the new reciprocal tariffs set at 18%, the lower duty, and even in comparison to, say, our neighboring nations or our Southeast Asians like Vietnam, Bangladesh, which are still at 19% plus. How does this really augur well for India? Warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Business Today and India Today. I want to understand from you, first up, your quick reaction on 18% tariff. Is that a good tariff to look at from export-oriented companies like yours?
First of all, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I must compliment the government for making a thing happen after a pause of maybe a few months. The duty which is now imposed 18% is much better than the neighboring countries. And I'm sure the volumes will increase, the bottom line is going to get much better. So we see a good thing coming up for our business propositions. Maybe it might take 2 quarters. It may take one more quarter for that. And although in the previous quarters, we did not lose much revenue, although we lost the bottom line because we did try to compensate our customers with the duty impact from own pocket. Of course, this will take a reversal very soon.
Mr. Gupta, how quickly does Trident expect to gain market share from these other competitors, when it comes to the home textile segment in the US, vis-a-vis the other competitors? Now you're better off. So how much more market share do you expect to gain?
Yeah, you're so right. It will help. It might, we all know that there's always a market week in March, third week in US, where you go and meet all the customers and start renegotiating and negotiating again. I'm very sure it's going to bring almost growth in business to a large extent. Up to what extent, it is difficult to predict. I think it is not wise on my part to even disclose those numbers because I think today we had a board meeting and I'm very confident that we'll get back to the numbers even much better than before.
What about the margins? You did say that, of course, revenues and bottom line profitability will improve. What about the margin expansions over the next 2 quarters that you're expecting?
Well, it will not be the same as for the previous quarters because we have to still, because, but I think the volume will rise and the new markets now, not only US, you had FTA with the European Union, you are also on the verge of closing with UK. The market of USA, UK, Europe, and Australia and New Zealand is also going to give you a more inroads towards the markets. Practically, the expansion of the market, the growth of the market, you get now a fairly an equal playing ground or a better playing ground for UK and Europe both. So possibly the growth in market is very visible and very feasible. Maybe it might take a while to get back to the same EBIT margins.
Right. If I have to ask you what our Commerce Minister, Mr. Goyal, mentioned, a target of $100 billion for the textile exports by 2030, how does this trade deal accelerate your own expansion plans or lead to new investments looking at the opportunity that's in the offing?
First of all, again, I like to compliment a very, very well done articulations of the policies and very well closed on the policy. I surely believe that there are very great possibilities in next maybe 12 months to 18 months. The Trident will like to double the capacities in the home textiles as well as the new products which possibly are under the new regime of budgets, where the budget has given much more leverage and much more support to move into new areas of textiles and new areas of the industry in a similar lines.
Also, sir, if you could highlight for us, over the last couple of months, when there was a lot of trade uncertainty, we're given to understand that some of the US retailers had been destocking for months as well. Are you already now seeing, after this announcement, a surge in forward orders, request for quotes from major US big box retailers following Saturday's announcement?
I must say you had a great study. You made a great study. Possibly what we call the pipeline is dried, and there will also drop in the unit of sales in the U.S. market because they also did made some better. They did try to rise the price. I am sure the mood upbeat, be the retailers, will really going to push for a larger demand from US customers. But on the same hand, you also had a new market emerging, which is the European Union and UK, where they're also appreciating that in next few months, those are happening and those orders will also come in pipeline. And the opening of the new markets, which is as compatible as US, where you had now, are more compatible than Pakistan, especially in the UK market and the European market. That is a add-on. Plus, US market pipeline will also see a surge, and how to cope up with that could be a good challenge for all of us.
Fantastic. Last question to you. We still given to understand this is an interim framework. So help us understand what specific non-tariff barriers or maybe technical standards are you urging the government to negotiate into the final bilateral trade agreement to ensure that Trident's products face zero frictions at US ports?
Well, we had such a capable and a very well, the government understand much better than us. I think requesting the government to or guiding the government, I don't think that will become. I will say I will not become that capable. But what is happening? There was some kind of a stress and uneasiness in the past few months. But I think what new thing happened is really a new hope of growth, multiple time growth happening across the globe.
All right. Congratulations to you yet again, and all the very best for those multifold sort of growth prospects that you're looking at after the deal has been signed with the US and with the EU, and now in the offing with the UK that will open up newer markets for you as well, looking at doubling of your capacities and looking at grabbing all these opportunities. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for speaking to us on Business Today.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.